Going over here. Hey, everybody. I believe we are live and you know the drill. I need to know, type in the comments if you can see and hear me because you know I don't move until I'm clear on that. Oh, I have a guest today. You get a peek at her, just wave at her, and then I'm going to remove her for now, but she will be back. So, yeah, just let me know in the chat. Somebody talk to me to let me know if you can hear and see me so we can get rocking for the very first NEWSJACK City of May. All right. So I said that I would. Facebook user says yes, whoever that is, because I'm using StreamYard. So, it's going to come up Facebook user for me. So long as you can hear and see me, I'm getting it going. Hey, my Julia, I'm getting it going over here on Instagram. All right. So I'm live on IG. And actually, I'm going to have to change this. Hey, Rain. So listen, I am TJ Mercer. I am known as the walking exclamation point. But for all intents and purposes, I have earned the moniker, the chief noisemaker of Media Mavericks Academy, where I am the beast in the media streets. And I have this receipts to back up that I am who I say I am, and I do what I say I can do. And so it started in April where I decided I was going to go live and go over NEWSJACKs that can actually get you booked. And that did so well in April. Y'all seem to like it. So I said, hey, we'll continue NEWSJACK City in May. Now, if you aren't familiar with the term newsjacking, hey, Tawana, if you aren't familiar with the term newsjacking, the high, level definition of it is just you're hijacking a current event, something that's popped off in the media, a social media trend, anything, and injecting yourself into the conversation. There is a free book that I have created over at newsjackthat.com. Newsjackthat.com. It'll take you about 15 or 20 minutes to read. But I'm not going to go deep into, what newsjacking is on these. You read it, get it, learn about it, and then come meet me on NEWSJACK City where I'm giving you specific examples because I didn't want to waste your time. So let's get to it. Let me put this back and take away that. Okay. So let me share my screen. And then IG, you know how we have to do. I have to kind of have you do that so that you can participate and be in with me. So I'm going to share my screen. And then we're going to share the window. And then we're going to go here. And then I'm going to go here. Why am I doing that? I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing my voice like that. Y'all know y'all dealing with somebody crazy. But I need to come back here so I can actually see the chat. All right. So you have had to have been living under a rock. So F. Fryer said, got the book last night. Yes, I'm glad that you did. Is that Sarah? I think that name sounds familiar. Okay, so wait a minute. Let me just bring myself here because I'm so excited about everything that's going on in my life that, okay, let me just, Julia says, loving the NEWSJACK swing, the NEWSJACK swing. Yes, honey. So you had to have been living under a rock to have missed this. And the Supreme Court, the draft of the opinion has, who was that said acting like Oprah? Rain, really, Rain, that's what we're going to do? The draft of the opinion so-called has leaked. And it looks like that we are getting ready to overturn Roe versus Wade. Now, if you are new to me, I need to tell you, when I do these, my opinions do not matter. I come, Eric says that is not a final opinion. Exactly. So that's why I'm very clear Eric, that this is the supposed opinion, the draft of the opinion that drops. So I need my people to be ready for when it does drop. So when I do these news jacks, I don't care what side of an opinion of the issue you're on. Okay. That is not why I do this. I do this because my desire is to help you actually put yourself out there and make some noise about your lane of genius. So this is not an opinion, I'm going to insert, it doesn't matter. If you are a legal expert, if you are an OBGYN, if you are a rape, not, I was going to say a rape expert. That's so wrong. Y'all know what I mean. But like a rape counselor, if you work in Planned Parenthood, if you're on the conservative side, get ready to start injecting yourself into conversation. Eric says it's a single judge's summary opinion of the case. That's what I'm saying. So I want y'all just formulating your opinion, okay? And because regardless of what happens, it's going to make the news. So be ready, so you'll have to get ready. Oh, yes. Okay, so it was Farrah. Thank you. I thought the name, the F Fryer, sounded familiar. So anybody who works, if you, especially, okay, this is what I was thinking. Okay, calm down, Tiz. You're getting excited. Calm down. Okay, so if you live in one of those states, and I'll be very honest with you, I have not followed this so closely, but I know that I've seen articles where if you live in some states are really going to be impacted by this. And if that is your state, inject yourself into the conversation. Okay, it's Emily. Hi, my Emily. Inject yourself into the conversation. Okay? Regardless of what side of the coin you're on. LaCrystal says, I am in Texas and it's here. So if LaCrystal, if it's not you, but someone you know that can news jack this for their business, book, or their brand, please tell them, start getting ready to formulate their segment, their opinion, or how we're going to handle this. All right. And again, this is not about TJ's opinion or anything. This is strictly, this is huge. How does this affect, if it is revoked, how does this affect the states? How does it affect life? All of that. All of those opinions that go along. Even if you have something for, I read an article today of a doctor who was recounting his first year of being a doctor, and an 11-year-old had been raped and was pregnant. Nobody known she had been raped. And he put his opinion on it. That's what I'm talking about. Where's the real life applications that can go into your injecting yourself into the conversation? We got that? So just keep following that, the resolution of how that's going to play out. Another headline for my doctors and for my health experts is Pfizer seeks approval for COVID-19 boosters in kids age 5 to 11, what parents need to know. So this is coming up now. If you're a pediatrician, if you are an advocate for or against the boosters, whatever your lane of genius is that can speak to this, that can speak to, is this a good thing for kids? What are the side effects? What should be taken into consideration if you are going to do this? What does that look like as you, the expert, educating the audience if this goes through? All right. So there's that one. Then so I thought this was interesting, y'all. So I caught this and I'm like, there's something there. I'm not really sure, but I hope I can tap into the right person that this can be something for. So Lydia Ko praised for talking about period after surprising reporter with an honest answer. So what had happened is she's like the number 3 golf player, I believe. I think it's number 3 and ranked number 3. And a reporter, she had gone over to the side and had her back worked on with her trainer. So the reporter asked her, what happened? How did that work out? And she was like, well, it's that time of the month, and he was literally speechless. So I'm wondering, for my women advocates, even my health practitioners, that if there's something where you can start engaging the conversation of normalizing, this is just our body function, and how do we transition to making this? No, I'm like, women can't control this. This ain't something we can control. So how about we normalize this in some shape, form, or fashion? And like I said, I hadn't really had time to really think this through, because I literally came up with this right before I went live. But I believe there's something there for the right person who can speak on this, whether it's an OBGYN or a holistic doctor, just something, a sports person who may be talking about the difference of men and women in sports. Like, there's something there. I'm not just quite sure. So hopefully I'm giving you enough to just hang your hat on to get your mind going. Rain says, wow, I was running from the news when I could have been using it. Oh my gosh, Rain, yes, don't run from the news, use it. Like I always talk about when I give news jacket examples, I always give the example of Kim Kardashian coming out with the boxer braids, and Black women were mad because all it was cornrows that we've been wearing for centuries. And I was like, don't get mad, pitch. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't run from it, pitch. See how you can leverage it for your business, your book, or your brand. So that's Lydia Coe. Speaking of Kim Kardashian, this was an interesting one too for me. So just go along with my train of thought. You can I hope y'all can see the clap. And Ned wrote something lengthy. Oh, I think I can do something with Lydia. Okay, I'm pivoting from infertility to women's health. And my ultimate goal is to change the way we do healthcare for women. But this speaks to how women's healthcare is generally handled. No one wants to talk about it or deal with it. So most women just get sent home with an answer. Thank you. I was like, I know it's for somebody. I just don't know who it's for. But if I just put it out there, hopefully the right person would catch on and run with it. All right. So now back to Kim Kardashian. So here's what I was thinking about this. So last night, the Met Gala happened, and Kim Kardashian wore Marilyn Monroe's Happy Birthday, Mr. President gown. Y'all remember that gown? And she had to, what hashtag? Somebody wrote a hashtag for me. What was it? I like that hashtag. What was the hashtag that I missed? Don't run from the news, use it. Okay, got you, Farrah. So she had to lose 16 pounds to get into this gown. It was flown on by private plane to her in California with armed guards. She had to wear gloves, white gloves, to try it on. And when she got to the Met Gala, she didn't even ride in the dress. She had a secret room to go change into the dress, did her red carpet appearance, and then took the dress off and put on a replica. So she went through all of that for just a few minutes. And so my mind was just thinking that there could be a news jack in here about what are you willing to do for the payoff. So I'm looking at my coaches, my empowerment coaches, my business coaches. Like, I could even, me even doing this is kind of a news jack, because what I always teach my clients in soundbite training, and for those who go over in my DIY course, that I will spend probably a total of 8 to 9 hours with my clients getting them ready for media. That doesn't include them practicing on their own. That's just one-on-one time with me. A TV interview is only 3 to 4 minutes. So you're doing all of this prep for a 3 to 4 minute interview. So from an empowerment perspective, from a coaching perspective, there could be lessons drawn of how you can pull out, when is it worth it? When is the payoff worth it for all the effort that you have to put in? Like my girl, Jenna, I saw a post from her the other day that she's doing a 2-hour talk that she has probably put about 20 something hours of prep in for the talk. When is it worth it? How do you determine if it's worth it? I'm hoping I'm dropping something that somebody can pick up, or is it landing, crazy and y'all ain't really with me? But I'm just thinking that there's something there that you can leverage. What Kim Kardashian, she had to lose 16 pounds in 3 weeks. 16 pounds in 3 weeks. When is it worth it? When is the payoff worth it for what you want to do? So there's something there that somebody can pull out, the lessons you can learn. Maybe that's it. The lessons you can learn about Kim Kardashian's wearing the Marilyn Monroe dress for a few minutes. How does this apply to real life? How does this apply to your goals? How does this apply? So my life coaches can hook onto this. Farah says, yeah, I heard that, and my mind started racing. I was thinking about planning 3 weeks in advance to get into a dress for 10 minutes. Imagine how many chapters of a book that's a lifetime. Okay, LaCrystal is coming at it from a different direction. Risking your health for fashion. That's a good one. Remember, this is not about my opinion or what I'm thinking, but that's a good one. She, according to the article, she, just leaned down her diet with proteins and fruits and all of that. But yes, from a nutritionist perspective, from the trainer's perspective, is that healthy? You can newsjack that. Or how you can lose the weight like Kim Kardashian did in 3 weeks, if that's your thing. Again, this is not about my opinion. This is just ways to get you to start thinking differently. Miss Barbara says she blew up social media. She knows how to keep people talking about her. Exactly. And she's always going to make a statement. That's her brand. She was really on brand. So that's one aspect of it. But just let your mind, just kind of roll over what's possible with that. In that same vein, Mindy Kaling was, and for those of you who know, she played on The Office. I forget the name of her show now. Something Mindy. But an estimated 45 million Americans go on a diet every year. And until recently, Mindy Kaling was one of them. So you can leverage her weight loss, what her routine is, how she's approaching it. If you are a trainer, if you are a nutritionist, leverage her weight loss of how you can start getting that summer body. What needs to happen for you to start getting your summer body? And she's talking about walking. So, do a segment around the different kinds of walks you can do. How long? Educate people about walking. Okay. There's that. And then I saw this. Danica Patrick shares breast implant complications to warn other women. This is another one that is for my health people. The Mindy Project. Thank you, Marissa. The Mindy Project. I'm like, what is it? It's something about the Mindy. LaCrystal says this would be, going back to Mindy, this or even Kim Kardashian, this would be great for women that advocate for body acceptance. That's a good angle. LaCrystal, you smart. Farah says prep for the summer body, or for me, prepping for HBCU homecoming season. Love it. So Danica. So for those of you who don't know, Danica is she probably holds like the first woman to do something in NASCAR. I forget what, but she's pretty big out there. And she was experiencing complications from her breast implants. And so according to the article, it's becoming common that this, what they termed her illness as is that it's not common, but it's happening more, and that people, it's a process of elimination of what could be caused. And she was having hair loss, extreme fatigue. She was having all kinds of. NJ Luke Publishing says, I can thank you, love this. Oh, you are most welcome. I love this stuff. So I want you to be thinking about, if this is your lane, thinking about putting out there what are the symptoms you need to be watching out for. And this triggered me also because I actually have a real life friend who had her breast implants removed because she was experiencing the same thing. She was having all of these issues, and they finally deduced by a process of painful elimination that it was the breast implants, and she got better quickly. So if this is your lane, or you know somebody that this is your lane, send them this, because it will be very helpful to the media, and not necessarily just the media, to other women, that if you have these symptoms and you have breast implants and you can't, the doctors don't know what's wrong with you, consider this. So it's the same segment of when I'm talking about my domestic violence journey. It's the 5 signs you're sleeping next to crazy. That's what my segment is. And so I go through 5 questions to ask yourself. So you can shape the segment around, if you have this, if you have that, if you have this, if you have that, you may want to consider this. But I really do want my doctor friends, so those of you who have doctor friends, I really want you guys to consider this and put this out there and pitch this, because it could help a lot of women. And y'all know, first and foremost, my job is to be the secret weapon behind you to get yourself out there so you can help more people. So please, my doctors, latch on to this. And I think, yes, that is my last one before I bring on our guest, Dr. Cassandra.
Hey,
Hi, Dr. Cassandra.
hey, I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you for coming to be and play with me. And first off, what you remember, what not you, Dr. Cassandra, but for those of you who've been rocking me for the beginning of when I launched NEWSJACK City, and we still finding our groove and finding our rhythm, and I was like, we in this together, building this city. And so some of you submitted expert forms so that I could be on the lookout for how your expertise can be hooked into the headlines that I see. Well, Dr. Cassandra is my first guest to do that. I decided to might as well do it live. So thank you, Dr. Cassandra. This is Dr. Cassandra's website. And we met because we're in the Traffic Sales and Profit Mastermind together. And before we go deeper into how you really kind of got on each other's radar, tell them who you are, what you do, your lane of genius, how you help people, and what makes you so dope. And this ain't the time to be humble.
Well, I'm just so delighted to be here. And really, my background, so I'm a marriage and family therapist, a psychology professor, and also a family studies researcher. I am a co-investigator for the National African American Child and Family Research Center, the first of its kind, housed at Morehouse School of Medicine. So my goal is to help couples prevent, treat, or heal from relationship wounds so that they can create a legacy of healthy relationships. And so what I focus on is a lot of education as well, helping people create a plan and a strategy for marital success, understanding what that looks like. But I think that a healthy relationship starts with a healthy you. And so sometimes helping them with that process of that inner healing as well, so that they can be in position to be able to, love in a way that will be healthy for them and others, and also being able to accept love. My approach especially when it comes to therapy, is really focused on emotionally focused therapy and helping couples be emotionally accessible as well as responsive. Because, even if you're not in a couple relationship, we have a need for other people. Like, when we're born, we're not put in a corner and say thrive on your own. So that need for people to be around you, to help support you and to love you, and those attachment bonds are needed early on in childhood, but that need never goes away.
I love that. I
It
love that you are making that normal, because I tell my people all the time, I'm needy, because I'm the type that I sit up under people I love, my sister, my cousin, my mama. I get on their last nerve. So I get to go tell them, see, a psychologist said it's okay. I'm normal to be needed.
And not only is it normal, but it's healthy. So Harvard has conducted, and they're still doing this longitudinal study, one of the longest of its kind. I think they're in their 76th or 77th year. President Kennedy was a part of this study, and so what they were looking at, they were trying to see what determines health as well as longevity across the lifespan. And above and beyond any other factor was having close, loving relationships, whether that's an intimate relationship, a sibling relationship. And what's really interesting about our siblings is that those are usually the longest relationships of our lifetime. They usually outlast our parents. Usually we met our siblings before we meet our lifetime partners, if you decide to have a lifetime partner. And so relationships matter, and they are critical for our health and well-being, not just emotional, but also physical.
I love it. Okay, so now tell them how you and I got on each other's radar.
Okay, so so we're both in the mastermind together, but you're just consistent with all of your content. And honestly, the night of the Oscars, I saw you do this NEWSJACK, and you're like, if you are in this field, you need to be making pitches here. These are potential topics. This now is the time, strike while the iron is hot. And I did just that. I think I got right off the phone and pitches, and the next morning I was on CBS 46. So it was just a wonderful experience. But I've been following you for at least a couple of years now,
Oh,
because
wow.
to gain expertise in this area with respect to publicity, and just getting the message out there, because healthy relationships are really a matter of life and death.
I had no idea you had been following me all that time.
Yeah.
And see, that's another lesson, y'all. People always watching, let me tell you. And I'm consistent. Like Cassandra, you can vouch for this. I don't really talk about nothing else in the group. Like, I'm always just talking about media, because I suck at a lot of things, but media ain't one. So I know how to stay in my lane. But go back, because what I also thought was interesting, what you shared with me, was you had pitched this station before, right?
Yes, I have. Maybe a few times actually, but I think it was such a sensational topic, and I think it was just right on time. So I think, the timing, the popularity of the topic, and I just think it was just, I struck while the iron was hot. And honestly, just taking your advice was really helpful, and I'm very grateful. On tomorrow, I'll be on the radio for a major news station here. I mean, not news station, but a radio station here in Atlanta. So just thank you.
Yes. Oh, you didn't tell me that. You sat on that.
Oh, yes.
I love it. But here's what I want people to pick up about what she said. The fact that she had pitched them before, but she didn't give up. She still went in an angle. And so that story, the Chris Rock, Will Smith slap, was so huge that it was like, I went live that night and basically said, people, you stupid if you are not on this by tomorrow. Like, this thing is going to be hot. And so I love, love, love when people pick that up, run with it, and keep it going. And so immediately with you breaking down your lane of genius, brother and sister day is this month or something. I'm wondering if it passed, but I liked how you even pointed out about your siblings, like the healthy relationship with the siblings, and that, I didn't think of it that way, but your siblings, you know your siblings the longest, and they will be in your life the longest. You know them before you even know your where is it? I saw it today. Look, okay, when we're done, I want you to Google it. But I saw that sometime this month is Brother and Sister Day.
Okay.
So that's an angle for you to pick up. For sure. I saw it. Oh shoot, we just missed it. Okay, wait a minute. It was yesterday. So it's Brothers and Sisters Day was yesterday. But make a note. Sherelle caught it. She's like, it was yesterday. But make sure that you make a note for next year.
Yes.
To follow that. All right. So I'm gonna share my screen and show you, Cassandra, some of the things that I came up today that is applicable to you. And this is Cassandra's website. It is upliftingrelationships.com, upliftingrelationships.com. Will somebody type that in the chat for me? And the first thing that came up is, and this can be, I'm speaking directly, to Dr. Cassandra, but obviously anybody can pick this up and pitch it in your area. All right. You just run with it. And so if you have not been following the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing, I suggest you get caught up on it, because it's still it's been in the news. I think we're going into the second week of this. And I think the jury is going to be getting the case soon. So there's I haven't been engrossed in it because I'm like, I ain't got time for that. But it's some very complicated, layered issues. From what I can tell, it's mutual abuse. I read a blurb where she actually pooped on his pillow. I read where he actually threatened her. He penetrated her with a bottle. And the whole thing is stemming around, she wrote an op-ed that he says cost him opportunities. So it's boiling down to that. But it's some messy marriage stuff in there that I want you to take a look at. If it feels right, dissect and inject. And when I say this, y'all, I ain't necessarily, everything you don't have to pitch. But you can just put it out there in your universe on Facebook, Instagram, your blog, wherever. Because like I taught a class yesterday that one of my clients, her Facebook post was shared 50,000 times. Okay. Farrah, type what? My phone glitches. Oh, type somebody type in the chat upliftingrelationships.com. That's Dr. Cassandra's website. So that's one thing I saw, Dr. Cassandra, for you. And number two, and this is for all my mental health experts, you need to move on this quickly, that, Naomi Judd unfortunately died by suicide. And what was so interesting, as a person who has had depression, clinical depression, I know the thinking. She took herself out the day before she was going to receive this huge honor of being inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. Now, if you've not experienced depression, or if you've never walked along with somebody who has depression, it makes you go like, well, dang, she didn't want to hold on to get honored for her life's work. And so I'm thinking, if this is your lane, well, first of all, before I say that, tell me about your what did you talk about with the Will Smith and Chris Rock? Like, what was the segment about? Tell them that first.
It was about like people being triggered and, emotional responses when people are triggered, and some practical steps to kind of get yourself in a calm place, and, what your brain is doing, how you're not really thinking very clearly when you're triggered, and how to get your brain back to that rational space. And
Okay. So I wanted to make sure, like, I wasn't making you go too broad on how, what your lane of genius is. So then back to Naomi, if this is your lane, or if it's anybody else's lane, speak to this. And this is going to sound wrong, but I think y'all, when things like this happen, use this as the opportunity to actually help more people. Like, I don't want to use the word leverage because that sounds so wrong, but that's essentially when a celebrity dies and something like this happens, media is paying attention. And so that's the perfect opportunity for you to put yourself out there and help more people. So with this, Dr. Cassandra, if it's in your lane, demystify how she could do something like this, and think about, all the other celebrities, like even, there's Ulta. Ulta, is it Ulta? Yeah, that's the beauty brand. Released a email that said, "Come hang with Kate Spade." Well, Kate Spade died by suicide and hung herself, so that was a poor choice of words. But it's bringing Kate Spade's suicide back into the media. So anytime something like this happens, use it as an opportunity to help people understand, and wrap themselves around it. And like Farrah just said, Farrah, you stole my thunder, and I was getting ready to say that. But May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So you got all kinds of things. And this may not be something you can do right now, Cassandra, but for next year, I really want you to consider pitching a series to some station where every week during the month of May, you're on giving and addressing mental health issues. So make that your goal for next May, to do a series. Yes, Farrah. So you mean get in the spotlight with the issue. That's exactly what I mean. Use the issue to help bring more attention and put the spotlight on something that millions of people go through and we don't talk about. So I want you to do that for next year, Cassandra. Make that a point. I don't care what station it is. I don't care if it's a radio station. I don't care if it's a TV station in Atlanta or it's a TV station in Macon. I just want you to pitch yourself to do a month-long series about Mental Health Awareness Month. Which leads me to this one, Terry Crews. So Terry Crews has written a memoir. And the crazy thing is, he was on the Today Show talking about being raised by an abusive father, and that created rage. Well, that was Will Smith's upbringing too. So there's now you still have another pocket of time. And I want you to go listen to this interview, because there's other segments in there that he talked about. And this is for everybody. He talked about the fact that, therapy in his family was considered quacky. And so men are, dying, not knowing that the solution is in therapy. His rock bottom was when his wife left him. And again, I know Terry has said some suspect stuff that everybody don't like him, but this ain't what this is about. This is about leveraging what he has spoken on. And so, he talked about how he understood what drove Will to do what he did, but he also have had times where he's been the Chris Rock side. So I want you to listen to the interview. And this is for anybody who's in mental health, who is a men's empowerment, whatever the brand is that you can hook on to this interview. I want you to go listen to the interview and listen to the nuggets that he dropped that you can shape a pitch around. All right? Got that one. And then finally, the last one I also have for you, Cassandra, is Molly Shannon. Molly Shannon is a successful, hilarious comedian on SNL. She's just written a memoir, and this is for my grief experts. This is for, again, my mental health people. This is for people who have lost moms, with Mother's Day coming up. But her part of her story about this interview is that she lost her mother at 4 years old, and how being motherless for her entire life, basically, because she was forced, so she don't really have, memories of her mom. you can, talk about that. What does that look like? What does that grief journey look like? Of, what are some of the symptoms? Like, what I can see is the same thing that I put out there for the breast implants, of people, who may not be equating their actions to, they're still grieving and processing their mother who died 25 years ago. So then it could be, if you are experiencing this, or in your relationships, do you find that? And list some criteria of what, from your expertise, from your practice of helping people, you've seen that these are the signs that you have not really dealt with grief or something. And you can leverage, typically what happens when children grow up without their mothers, and things like that. So that's what I have, Dr. Cassandra. Hopefully something is in there for you to find, latch on, and put yourself out there.
Absolutely. Goodness. Thank you so much. I didn't know that this is going to be like a one-on-one. Sandra said it's amazing. I can't thank you. A treat.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, what did you think I was going to do? Just have you on here? What did you think I was going to do?
I didn't know.
You're like, I didn't really know. I was just going to show up. But no, that's what I really want to do. Because again, I don't have a lot of time, based on everything else I'm building. But this is the one thing I'm really committed to, of helping more people put their genius out into the world so they can help more people. I can help more people help more people. So thank you. Thank you for coming to play with me. Thank you for giving me your time. I will have a guest next week. I don't know who it is yet, but I'm going to do the same thing for someone else. Feel free, everybody, feel free to share this video, because the more, we bring into the NEWSJACK City, the more people that we can help collectively. Because I just want to be, useful to the community. So with that said, I don't think I have anything else. So go to newsjackthat.com if you haven't already, to download the free newsjacking guide. If you go to NEWSJACK City, you can submit the expert form. And if I choose you, I will bring you on here to go over some specific headline hooks, just like I went over with Dr. Cassandra. And anything else you got, Dr. Cassandra?
No, just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity. Your help is always impeccable and just amazing. So thank you so much.
Yay! Make sure you tell all your friends they need some TJ in their life. Okay. So in 10, I always count it down to give people their last minute. You are most welcome, X. Thank you for this as a mental health professional. I appreciate it. Yes, X, I need you to be making noise. This is your lane. I need you to be making noise through Mental Health Month. In 10, 9, Keandra says, this was great. Thank you. My pleasure, Keandra. 8, 7, I'll see, mark your calendars. I'll be doing this every Tuesday in May at 5:15 Pacific, 8:15 Eastern. 7, I don't know where it was. 7, 6, well, whatever. 6, 5, 4, 3. Cassandra, I want a series next year on Mental Health Month. Somebody gonna pick up a series. 2,
yes.
1. All right, see y'all next Tuesday. Bye.